Go. Senator Blackburn.
I will pick up right where you are. Senator Graham has a bill that would allow pilots.
Is your microphone on?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is. Is it picking up? Okay. That would allow, let's see what he calls this thing. Let Experienced Pilots Fly Act. And it would allow pilots to fly up until age 67. So what I would like to hear, Mr. Watterson, let me start with you. See what you think about that. And then let's see, is it Captain Murray? I'd like to hear from you on this also.
Thank you, Senator. I would respectfully say that I think more can be done on the other end of the spectrum, so to speak. It takes far too much money for an airline pilot to go through schooling and get the experience to qualify to become an airline pilot. Other professions in the United States receive government assistance in the education process, and that's not to a full extent available to pilots.
Well, that takes time, sir. So I'm talking about alleviating issues today. I live in Nashville, fly you all a lot. I know sometimes we have grouchy flight attendants on planes, people that are overworked. I talk to pilots, they're doing yeoman's work, and God bless them all, and all the ticket agents and gate agents that work so hard through this debacle. So this is something that could be done in the short term. You're talking about a long-term fix. I'm talking about today. So just answer me yes or no. Would you support that?
Thank you, Senator. Unfortunately, I'll defer to Captain Murray. We stand behind our pilots union with regard to age limits.
All right, Captain.
Well, and mine won't be a simple yes or no. I believe very strongly, especially with FAA reauthorization, that a lot of our issues with where the pilot shortage is occurring is at the evaluation level and FAA availability to really test pilots and help them come up and get through check rides. And so moving forward, that's where we have to address it, is really at the cradle. I've spent a fair amount of time with
Well, and I agree with that.
Yep.
And when we do the FAA reauth, we can have those discussions. A part of that is someone who is 65 years old today and is going to turn 66 next month, and they are in good health, and they have a great record, and they want to continue to fly for a year or two. It is allowing them to stay and to continue to work. That is simply what this bill does.
And what we saw in 2008 with the age 60 to 65 had some caveats in there as we having to do with medicals, having to do with who flew. There were ICAO issues, and so we would have to see how that is addressed in allowing from 65 to 7 or 8, however that goes.
Okay, all right, thank you for that. Let's see, Ms. Pinkerton, I want to ask you about this. We have seen fuel cost escalate, and I know for years Southwest had done a pre-purchase on their fuel, and they kept the cost low. It helped with their ticket price, and right now one of the things that I hear from pilots and others is the accelerated cost of fuel and the effect that that has had, and how airline companies are having to take funds that were set aside for other activity and place it to cover fuel cost. Give me your read on that, what you see.
Well, definitely fuel prices in 2022 were up 87% over the prior year, so there's no doubt. And then in the month of January, we saw it go up even further. So it's the price of oil, but we also have a unique situation with jet fuel. It has to be refined separately.
Right.
And we've got, frankly, refinery shortages in this country.
So,
and so
supply chain issues all add to it.
Exactly. It's
Okay,
definitely.
let me, Mr. Watterson, how has the increased cost of fuel affected you all? Did that take money away from other projects like enhancing your technology?
Thank you, Senator. It doesn't take it necessarily directly away from our other projects. We are experiencing elevated both fuel costs, but also what's called the crack spread. The difference between the price of oil and the price of jet fuel is elevated because of refinery capacity issues.
Okay, thank you for that. Madam Chairman, I hope that as we look at this issue and look at FAA reauth, that we will hear from some of the other airlines about their response on this December storm. I know that there are airlines that have not made refunds. I know families that booked with air miles and the flight got canceled, but they won't give the air miles back to people. And they had no control over this. So it is not just Southwest. I think Allegiant, American, Delta, all of these, JetBlue, we need to hear from all of them on how they're dealing with these issues.
I couldn't agree more, Senator Blackburn.